Hey everyone, I'm Austin Allen. I'm the lead filmmaker here at Times Square Church in New York City. We recently had the opportunity to really dig into the Atomos Shogun Ultra Monitor. And man, we had an incredible time. We used it in live production, we used it here in our studio, we used it for another smaller project as well. And we've really impressed with some of the features that we were able to try out. Come take a look. The thing that I really love about this monitor is that it was really designed with intention. This monitor is able to be used with just about any camera you will be able to pick up, regardless of whether or not it puts out ProRes RAW, or if you're using a RED camera or an ARRI camera. It doesn't really matter. You have lots of different options to be able to record externally, to use it in a live production environment, to use it just about anywhere you would need a camera and a really good data or a really good codec to record to. So I think that's why the Atomos Shogun Ultra is going to be even more popular than what it currently is, because there's so many useful features inside of it for churches. The Atomos monitors, all the ones I've ever used, probably in the last, I would say 8 years or so, they've all been very user-friendly. So even hopping back into this system after not touching, a Shogun monitor for a couple of years now, it was still very easy to jump back in. And I think that's where churches will see the biggest difference, is that it's a very complex thing that it's doing, but it makes it very simple to use. There's a lot of times when we don't really need to get in there and dig through all the information. We just need a really good video clip right out of the camera. This is where the Shogun comes into play. You can essentially send a really high quality H.265 file to a cloud. Now, why is that important? Let's say, you're doing a church conference, or let's say you're doing a normal Sunday broadcast, and maybe you have an editor or a social media person who's not on campus with you. Maybe you have to record something and then bring it into your computer and edit it all out and put it in the right color space and then upload it to your, whatever, maybe that's Dropbox or another system. Or if you already have a system set up so that you can go ahead, let's say, upload your footage to Frame.io, as you are recording your footage, that data can be sent to the cloud. So you can be recording all of your data that you want into your camera, and you can also be simultaneously sending a signal in H.265 straight to your cloud. And I think that's what makes it so unique, and that's why I think I see more and more churches using it. You can use it as redundancy, or you can use it for speed to really get out some of your really high quality footage into a format that's easily usable for maybe a volunteer, for maybe your social media, for maybe even your online broadcast, that maybe you don't need full 6K RED files or full 4K ARRI RAW files. You just need a really good H.265 to put on YouTube or to put onto your website. I think that's where this comes in handy. It gives you an additional means of output for your camera that's a lot more easy to use. So this is another great example of how using just this monitor for your production or for your live stream can really give you more options than what your camera would just normally be able to put out. The reason why we would use the Atomos Shogun Ultra for maybe a smaller camera like a mirrorless and do ProRes RAW output, let's say maybe we're going somewhere where we can't take our big ARRI camera, our big RED camera, or a larger broadcast camera. You need to keep a smaller profile, but you still want to be able to access all of that data that comes from ProRes RAW. And I think this is where these monitors really shine. And I think a lot of churches who say, man, we really want to be able to do, maybe larger projects, or maybe we want, really good, data coming out of our camera, but we just can't maybe swing a RED camera or ARRI camera. And I think that's most churches, but the really unique thing about the Atomos Shogun Ultra Monitor is that being able to output ProRes RAW for certain cameras. So, normally the Canon R5, when we record it, let's say we're doing, crop sensor, 6K recording, we're not really able to get that much data out of it. It's still 6K, but when we use the Atomos Shogun Ultra Monitor, we're able to output ProRes RAW 6K. So here's what that means. If I've got, 2 RED cameras, and I'm using my normal cinema lenses, but man, I really need a third camera, but it's not, it doesn't match my other cameras. I can then use my Atomos Shogun Ultra Monitor to record to ProRes RAW, and then I can match those cameras up color-wise. The reason why that's so important is if I just record to the R5, it's not gonna have nearly the amount of color data that I would want to match to my other cameras. So it really gives us an extra bit of oomph to our camera. It really pulls out some more of the power and capabilities of these cameras without having to have a much larger system like this to my right. The Atomos Shogun Ultra Monitor is a multifaceted camera monitor that can record and send out multiple different signals pretty much anywhere you need them to. The reason why I really enjoyed using this particular monitor is that not only was it very simple to use right out of the box, it just felt very familiar. I haven't used a Shogun monitor in maybe 2 years now, but getting right back into the menu system felt so familiar, felt very at home. But beyond that as well, I was really kind of shocked as to how much things have improved since I've probably used them last. The Shogun monitor has been great to be used from multiple different cameras, to record multiple different kinds of codecs and video files, but it's also great for live production too, in terms of using it for focus peaking, for exposure tools. So it really is kind of an all-around monitor that you can use in live production, in creative production, and studio production. So I think that's why using it here in Times Square Church, I've been very excited because there's not many things we can't use it for. It's very versatile, and the price point too is very attractive. So the fact that you have all these different features that are very usable, practical for church applications, I think that's a huge win. I think that's what makes me very excited to keep picking up this monitor time and time again. Thanks for joining us for this user experience. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and check out our website at churchproduction.com for more videos just like this. We'll see you next time.